Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was on The View, and Whoopi Goldberg had some strong words for her. Let's see what she had to say.
You know, I was very happy when you were elected because I thought it was a great step in a good direction. And then you lost me because it felt like you were saying to people like me that I was too old and didn't do enough to make. Well, that's what it sounded like. And so that has bothered me because I feel like I love young people. I was once one. But you're on my shoulders.
Absolutely.
And we have carried this fight. People like, you know, Nancy Pelosi, who was the only chick in the room for years. And Madam Feinstein, who was the only chick in the room for years and had to deal with all of that stuff. And to sort of hear it sound like you were dismissing us bothered the hell out of me.
Of course.
She's been very upset about it.
And I've been very upset about it for a long time. So do you think maybe they misunderstood what you were saying? Did I misunderstand what you were saying?
Sorry, Cenk, it's my time to rant. No, I just.
Go for it.
No,
Who's stopping you? You run the show.
I can't handle. You're right, I do run the show. No, I can't handle women who make women look weak, right? And look, they're doing that right now by pretending to be so hurt by AOC and progressives, more importantly, fighting for a better future. So the generations before us didn't do enough, didn't do much, didn't do anything at all when it came to climate change, right? So I think it's a fair criticism of previous generations to say, hey, yo, you didn't take climate change seriously. And now, hey, it's way more urgent and we need to act now, we need to act fast. I don't know why Whoopi Goldberg gets like personally offended when we talk about the need to do more than generations before us, right? That's not to say you're a bad person. And then like this like self-aggrandizing thing, right? Like you're on our shoulders. Okay, like what did you do, right? You're an actress. I'm not trying to belittle that. You had a very successful, wonderful career in acting. Now you're doing political commentary as someone who's not qualified to do any political analysis whatsoever. I wanted to figure out if she did any like real political activism. Maybe there's something that I missed about her past. But she's actually pretty conservative for a Democrat. Wants to repeal estate taxes. In fact, in 2007, she was quoted as saying, I'd like somebody to get rid of the death tax. That's what I want. I don't want to get taxed just because I died.
Good news for you, you don't, you're dead.
Yeah, I just.
The people who didn't earn it, your kids, grandkids, et cetera, they're the ones who get taxed for the first time, not the second time. And unlike people who work for a living, they did nothing to get that money. You already got taxed, you only get taxed once. So don't pretend that you're getting taxed a second time, that's just not true. Have I offended you by saying things that are empirically true?
How dare you, Cenk? You stand on her shoulders.
Okay.
But it's just weird. Okay, and then you know she talked about how she's a member of the NRA back in 2012.
Oh, you must be so proud.
Her political activism, you know, she did some stuff when it came to pushing for equality for the LGBTQ community, so that's great. I give her credit for that, right? But I mean, the self-aggrandizing nonsense is just so ridiculous, and to pretend like you're personally offended by a young woman who was elected into Congress because she has a very clear progressive message and a progressive agenda blows me away, blows my mind, I should say. And then one final thing, I don't care what the gender of a representative is, I just don't, right? Nancy Pelosi handed Donald Trump $4.6 billion in border security as children were dying in cages at the border. AOC spoke out against that, and Nancy Pelosi attacked AOC in the New York Times. Nancy Pelosi has assisted Donald Trump legislatively when it comes to tax cuts, when it comes to military funding, when it comes to a number of his legislative objectives, including the USMCA, right? So, all right, just because she's a woman doesn't mean that I'm impressed by her. Same with Dianne Feinstein, the Republican who pretends to be a Democrat. I mean, what did she do to California? So all these sweetheart real estate deals for her husband. all this self-enrichment. I'm not proud of that. I don't look at her and think, oh, she's a woman, so I'm just gonna be proud that there's a woman in the Senate. No.
Well, there's another thing that I'd be shocked if Whoopi Goldberg hadn't given donations, a lot of donations to those women. And Dianne Feinstein did vote for tax cuts for the rich, like Whoopi, back during the Bush administration. So Whoopi must have been thrilled with that because she just told you she hates taxes on the rich, like the estate tax. So to Anna's point about the self-aggrandizing, which honestly I hadn't focused on, but I am amused by it now. Like the other day I went on the Rational National, David Dole's show, okay? Could you imagine if I went on David's show and you stand on my shoulder?
It's so ridiculous. I mean,
who does that? Who says that?
And right? Yeah, it's just it's a ridiculous thing to say. And look, the point is there were things done to the economy. Now, obviously, Whoopi Goldberg isn't responsible for it, although she does want to repeal certain taxes that have rigged the economy against the average American, right? But to point these things out and say, hey, let's look at history, let's look at some of these mistakes, and let's correct them moving forward. Whoopi Goldberg looks at that and she thinks, oh, no, this is very offensive, you're standing on my shoulders. Look, the truth is, she didn't like AOC to begin with.
Now, she doesn't, you remember her segment on Justice Democrats?
Yes.
Where she was like, who do they think they are?
Exactly.
Fighting for justice. And she thought that was presumptuous, said the lady who claims we all stand on our shoulders. All right, I actually have strong thoughts, as Anna alluded to, on this too. But let's let AOC answer first,
yeah, let's do it.
And then I'll jump in.
I think there's a lot of incentive to blow up disagreements in the party as like huge fights, because I think it's important for us all to recognize, and we do this in our rallies, to recognize the people who have been in this fight to allow us to have this window as we do right now. Nancy Pelosi, that's Mama Bear of the Democratic Party, but also women like Barbara Lee, Jan Schakowsky, Maxine Waters, my chairman, Elijah Cummings. So I think it's important to say that, but also to say that part of, I think, youth and culture, it's always been seen and cast as rebellious, but ultimately we are not a moment that is disconnected from our past.
Okay, so partly agree. So look, I think Anna was harsher than I would be on Nancy Pelosi, believe it or not. I think that it was important that she's the first female Speaker of the House, and she did a lot to get there. Okay, now having said that, I would be much harsher than AOC was there. I'm keeping it real. I agree with her on her policies completely, but there's nothing wrong with disagreeing on style, and there's also nothing wrong with disagreeing on substance. So no, I do not believe Nancy Pelosi is Mama Bear to progressive Democrats. And I don't know why, like I know why, because it's so hard. They've got her in a crucible there, and you say she's awesome, say the establishment is great. Otherwise, it's all your fault. It's all your fault because you're the one who started the fight. No, Whoopi, you just started the fight right in front of us. You attacked AOC, demanding some sort of apology to Pelosi and Feinstein. So look, I'm going to say something really, really simple at the risk of offending the very, very, very sensitive Whoopi Goldberg.
Too late.
Okay, I don't have to agree with Nancy Pelosi. Oh my God, I said it. I also don't have to agree with Dianne Feinstein. Scandal, scandal. Okay, so look, AOC, myself, we agree with Bernie Sanders. We all agree with Medicare for All and Green New Deal. Just the two prominent ones, there's many others. So Nancy Pelosi says, it's the green dream or whatever, and dismisses it out of hand, and they're not gonna vote on it because of Nancy Pelosi. So what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just say, oh, I stand on Nancy Pelosi's shoulders, so I guess I'll just jump off of it into a cliff because she doesn't want to do Green New Deal. The planet is burning, but the beloved Nancy Pelosi is liked by Whoopi Goldberg, so I am not allowed to criticize her on policy? Dianne Feinstein has voted for one conservative thing after another. She votes for tax cuts, she voted for the war, her husband profited off it. I'm so sorry for telling you things that are true. You can look it up. Okay, but she's in the club. I forgot she was in the privileged club. That's so sorry. I'm such a ruffian for saying it. So am I supposed to agree with them on Medicare for All? Nancy Pelosi said, I don't care for it. and she won't allow a vote on it. So Whoopi, you tell me, how am I supposed to handle that? Am I just supposed to know, oh, that's it, you're not allowed to fight back against the establishment? If Whoopi Goldberg or Nancy Pelosi says something, we must bow our heads and know that we are immediately defeated without fighting for our voters, without fighting for our audience, without fighting for millions of Americans? 45,000 people a year die because they don't have health insurance. Yeah. But I know they're not in the club, Whoopi. To be fair, they're not at all in the club. See, that's what drives them crazy. You just said a fact, and you seem like you were saying it's because we don't have universal health care. No, it's not seem. That is what I'm saying. It's because we don't have universal health care that those people died. That's a fact. Who doesn't want universal health care? Yeah, it's absolutely true. Trump doesn't want it, Republicans don't want it. But Nancy Pelosi does not want it and will not allow a vote on it. I said it because it's true. If it hurts your feelings, the reason is you don't like facts and you don't like the fact that you're the one blocking progress. Whatever you might have done in the past, today you are against getting people insurance, saving the planet, and you celebrate it. And if we dare oppose you on policy, you demand some sort of apology and that we bow our heads to opinions we don't agree with, very simply, no deal. So I know AOC is being polite, and maybe she's a nicer person than I am, but I don't accept their framing. I don't accept a word that she said. I think the correct answer is to fight back even more aggressively. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.